ready?
Yeah, go by just
go for it.
Brought it back, kind of talk about the vision with you and Raheem. I know you guys are only a couple days in, but how's kind of the cohesion of what you guys kind of envision as you start this process going so far?
Yeah, it's been really good so far. Obviously, we're only on our third day together as a group. I've known Zach for a long time, and that's really the main connection that I have. I was a player here when Raheem was here, so I've known Raheem for a long time. Got a good relationship with both of those guys, but me and Zach, again, like we've known each other for a long time. We've talked football for years. We really see the game the same, and that was really important to him to get a quarterback coach that saw it the same as him. So having that trust level in the room, on the field, with the quarterbacks, all really speaking the same language, to put that quarterback in the best position to go out there and be successful. But the cohesion so far has been great. Raheem's made it a really big point for our staff to really get to know each other, because we're around each other so much. We see each other more than we see our own families throughout the year. So it's going to be imperative for all of us to kind of gel as a staff, get to know each other as much as possible in this short amount of time, so we can hit the ground running and transfer that over to our team and our players.
Zach mentioned yesterday just kind of all the different methods you guys could go through to acquire a quarterback, whether it's draft or free agency or whatever. Is there any part of any of those methods that would change your approach? Whether it's bringing in a veteran or drafting a guy, how does that change what you hope to do this year, or how you're going to approach the job this year?
Yeah, it's always a changing thing, because the guys who are available in free agency, the guys who are available in the draft, and where you're going to be drafting at, there's not one way to go about it, so you have to look at all angles. You have to take the same approach when you're scouting all different levels, whether it's college or pros or the guys you evaluate on your own team. So like Terry said, like Roz said, like Zach said, we're gonna look at absolutely everything to try to put this team in the best position to win football games.
What do you look for when you are evaluating a quarterback? What do you want to see?
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors. It's toughness, it's accuracy, it's leadership, obviously mobility, arm strength, to be able to layer different throws in and around coverage. There's so many different factors, and there's all the ones that you can't really quantify. All the intangibles, the it factors, all those different things that are, when you look at a guy on film, you're never going to be able to tell how much information he can process and at how high of a rate he can process that information. So sometimes you don't ever really get those answers till you get your guys in the building running your offense. So, there's some factors that you can quantify and look at the data and see the stats, but there's some stuff that you kind of got to go talk to the guys. You got to work them out. You got to put them through some tests that will try to help you, get the best information you can and make the best educated guess out there.
I guess my question would be, I've known Mark Richt for 30 years. He played with Kosar, Testaverde, and Jim Kelly. He says, I may not have been it, but I know what it is. Do you feel kind of the same way?
It depends on what offense you're running. It depends on what team you have around it. I don't think there's one certain way to judge quarterbacks or grade quarterbacks. If so, then everybody would be right all the time. Teams miss on quarterbacks all the time. Teams get lucky on guys. Last pick of the draft ends up playing in the Super Bowl. Like, nobody would ever been able to quantify that. So this game's always changing, and your offenses are always changing. Players around you are always changing. So to be able to just adjust and kind of fit the best guys with the guys you got and vice versa is going to be a big part of it.
Is there any adjustment for you going back to your natural coaching position?
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. I've spent 3 years in the wide receiver room. So getting back into it's just like riding a bike, and I'm happy to do it. I'm excited to do it. I'm blessed with the opportunity to stay here in Atlanta with my family and be in this great organization. So it's been awesome so far.
What's some of the history you've had with Zach?
Yeah, we met each other first back in I think 2008 at some of these college quarterback camps, and we kind of hit it off then. We went to that for a couple of years. We came out at the same time, playing in the league, played against each other a couple times. So we've been good friends for a long time, and then we kept up throughout the years, throughout our coaching careers. So coached each other against each other a couple times. So we're just really good friends, and the opportunity came about for us to get back together this year. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to work out great for us.
Is that the Manning camp in 08?
Yeah, the Manning camp, the Peyton Manning and Eli and Cooper and their whole family. They have this camp where they bring college quarterbacks in to counsel the camp. for all these younger kids. So, we came up doing that together for a couple of years, and we kind of kept up throughout. We came out around the same time, played against each other a couple times in the pros. So we've always kept in touch, and obviously coached against each other a few times as well. So we've kept a good relationship over the year.
As the offseason moves on, you still have 2 quarterbacks on the roster. Do you have to prepare like they're going to be here until otherwise till notice?
Absolutely. They're here and they're on our roster right now. So, and obviously it's going to be a changing situation, an evolution at every step of the way through free agency, through the draft, all those things. But right now they're here with us. We got to prepare like they're going to be here with us, and we're just going to look at every option that we have. And obviously we all know that position for this football team has to improve, and we're going to do everything we can to improve that position.
Could you improve Ritter?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's still a young quarterback that, with this day and age, though, there's a lot of impatient people, impatient media. Like, you don't see the days of being able to grow guys. But everybody knows it's a performance business, and you got to perform right now. But he'll continue to grow throughout his career, and learning the game, learning how to play the game, protecting the ball better, all those different things. Like, there's definitely ways that every player can improve.
Not sure if you've already been asked this, as I walked in a little later, but you moving over to the quarterbacks coach, what does that add to this next season?
Yeah, it's throughout my coaching career, I've kind of been all over the place. I started out in the O-line room. I went to the quarterback room when I was in Houston. I came here, was in the wide receiver room. So you learn different things at every position, seeing the game through different spots. You see it through quarterback, see it from the wide out, see it from the O-line. And it just really helped my career as far as seeing the whole game and then learning the offense from different angles. But I'm obviously very excited to get back into the quarterback room, the thing I'm most comfortable with, and being able to teach and coach those things and relate to those guys from past experiences that I've had, playing the game. So it's going to be a fun transition getting back into it. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Both Morris and then yesterday Robinson were kind of talking about what they are looking for in a quarterback, whether that's here or, elsewhere. Just in general, what do you think those traits are?
Yeah, first and foremost, you got to have a tough, competitive guy, a leader that's going to come into the room, come into the team, and be able to bring guys with them. And then as far as physical traits, you got to be able, obviously, to throw it on all levels. You got to have accuracy. You got to have decision making. All those kind of buzzwords that you want with a quarterback. But there's so many intangibles that are really, really hard to kind of quantify when you're going into this scouting kind of off season, whether it's free agency or the draft. So. A bunch of different things that you're looking for, but those main things are never going to change as for what you need in a quarterback.
How much of that can be deciphered, through analytics and also like the eye test?
Yeah, it's always I think quarterback is the toughest thing, because you never know how a guy's going to be able to process information and how high of a rate he's going to be able to process information until you really get your hands on them. They're running your offense. They're doing the things that you're telling them to do. So with the quarterback process, you see it every single year with guys trying to scout QBs. I mean, it's one of the hardest things to quantify, those certain it factors and processing and all those things. There's really not a true metric for some of that stuff. So you got to get to know the people as much as possible, try to pick their brains as much as possible, and all the factors, seeing the tape, going through the process, and just really, really taking a deep dive into these guys to, take as big of an educated guess as you can.
You looking forward to the combine and the work you all have to put in there scouting?
Absolutely. This is a fun time of the year where really coaches, we kind of turn off the coaching and we put our scouting hats on. And it's a fun time of the year. It's a change up for all of us. We're watching a ton of film. We're doing the pro days. We're doing this, the combine, the workouts, all those different things. So it's a fun time of the year to be able to, look at all the prospects out there, whether it's pro or college guys, and really take a deep dive into them and see if they can help improve our team.
And just thoughts on Andre going into the Hall of Fame and all.
Oh, my man Dre, I'm so happy for him. Like, one of the best teammates I've ever had, one of the best players I've ever had a chance to play with, and honored to play with him and throw him some touchdown passes. And I didn't play with him for a long time, but he definitely helped me out when I was out there, and he's so well deserved of getting that Hall of Fame nod.
There's a lot of turnover, or I should say, there's a lot of transfer onto this new head coaching staff. What does that continuity bring?
It's obviously like I was saying before, I think before you got up here, we've had a lot of turnover, more than normal staffs when you have a coaching change. So we have a lot of guys that have been here. We have a lot of guys that can help out the new guys in the transition period as far as, knowing where to go, where to live, all these different things. But, Raheem has done a really good job of making an emphasis of the first thing we got to do is we got to gel as a group. We got to get to know each other. We got to build relationships because, we see these guys more than we see our own families throughout the year. So it's imperative for us to have really good relationships, to be able to work together to, carry it over to the players and, produce a winning football team.
What's that process been like so far of getting to gel?
It's good. I mean, this is our third day together so far. So, we're trying to get to know each other as much as we can. There's been a lot of talk in the room. Obviously we got to catch up on a lot of different things as far as scheme, as, scouting, all those different things. But we're doing our fair share of, taking a little extra time to sit down at the lunch table and just get to know each other. And, I still haven't really truly met all the guys yet, but, it'll happen over time. And, Raheem, again, he wants to make a point of us being able to gel as a group.
We see talent, young talent, that we're looking to add competition to the room. We're looking for growth by each and every player. And we can't wait to get on the grass, work with them, and see who separates themselves, for an opportunity to be a playmaker in this offense.
We look at Drake specifically, just kind of his development so far. What are some of the things you want to see before?
He is extremely talented. Not trying to disrespect him at all, but he is more talented than I gave him credit for before watching the tape. The game comes easy to him. He has natural hands. He's a fluid mover, considering he is a large young human. And he's a playmaker, so our job is to put him in position, help him grow, dissecting defenses and, dissecting defenders, give him the chances to win and put his playmaking on display.
Obviously, after you're getting a feel for the system and everything like that, what's been your process the last week or so?
Well, I'm just getting, acclimated. I think the priority right now is after watching our guys, which I put them to bed from a report standpoint yesterday, it's on the free agency now. And we're going to take a hard look at what's out there to try to add competition to the room, and make it healthy and make it, a productive situation for us so we can put as many playmakers out on the grass as we can.
Besides, obviously, good players, what sort of players do you think you're looking for in free agency from that position?
Well, I don't think we want to put any of those guys in a box. We just want good football players, that are ready to play fast, play the game physically, how it's supposed to be played. Guys that are able to process the information that we need them to process in order to help the quarterback, be productive as well. But we're looking for playmakers. That's really what it is.
When you think about, you just talked about Drake, so obviously after a couple of years in the league, a lot of coaches will say it's that third year sometimes that you get a breakout from a rookie, talented rookie like him years ago. So what do you think needs to happen in order to have that third-year breakout?
Well, it's different for everybody. I think the definition of a breakout year may be, in any individual's own opinion. I think he's been extremely productive. Could we, obviously have more production? Yeah, we're always going to ask for more, from each of our players. But Drake is, man, like I said, he can bend. He's obviously an easy catcher. He plays to his size, catches the ball away from his frame easily. He can go up and snatch it. He has unique run after catch for a large human. He's a playmaker in his offense. We just want, the opportunity to coach him when he gets here, and we're going to do our best to put him in position to, to help us win many, many ball games.
And you haven't played the position yourself at a high level. What sort of insight that you can give to help somebody else?
Well, I call it an in-helmet perspective. That's sort of unique, having the opportunity to play the game as long as I did. There are a lot of guys that are really, really talented, that have a lot of knowledge when it comes to the position. A lot of things that were taught that transfer to the grass, but I think I can give more insight on top of that can hopefully help, with timing and spacing and, dissecting defenders and defenses that'll help.
Coach, I think with the media, the most exciting part about this time of the year is everybody's records, you're saying?
No doubt.
Everybody's got pies in the sky.
Right.
The coach's side of the ball, what's it like for you? Same thing, the excitement behind that?
It is exciting. You know, we're just diving into the evaluation process right now, getting to know our own guys, having, you know, a new staff with, you know, for most of the offensive guys. And then from there, we'll dive into free agency and see if we can add competition. And then at the draft, we'll add more competition and talent. And, you know, just dive into the scheme while we're doing that as well to see how we can put the best talent on the field. It's always exciting for us to get, you know, an opportunity to watch tape on guys and talk football. So, like you mentioned, everybody's 0-0 right now, you know, trying to put our best foot forward to get the best product on the field.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Right.
Yeah, Coach, where are y'all at in the offseason? I guess it's evaluations, and y'all can't talk to players yet, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's some of the players kind of coming through and doing their own thing over here, but we're not really communicating with those guys a whole lot right now. I think the biggest thing right now is just building the continuity as a staff, you know, getting to know each other and working through some projects and stuff that we're doing, obviously, in the building and working, you know, guys working draft stuff, guys working on some assignments that Coach has given us.
The Rams ran zone and then gap last year. Y'all ran zone, or y'all just got to work through the process on how to arrive what best way to attack people?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, you know, and Zach talked about it and coaches talked about it, we're going to put the players in a position to be successful. Obviously, we'll have an identity and what we want to do, but at the end of the day, we just got to make sure, you know, we get these guys here, figure out who we want to be, and again, just put these guys in the best position to be successful. But at the end of the day, it's still just football. You know, 120 long, 53 and a third wide. You know, we'll run the ball, we'll pass the ball. It's just still just football at the end of the day.
Obviously, it's still really early. And Robinson yesterday was like, I'm still trying to remember my password.
Yes.
But what have your conversations been like with him?
Been really good. You know, I think a lot of it when you're getting to know anybody is just the energy that you can feel. And that's the thing that's been fun in learning a bunch of new guys is just the energy's been really, really good, starting with Coach, you know, Coach Raw. And so it's been awesome. It's been really good, and it's been an extremely collaborative environment thus far. And so it's fun and it's exciting to just learn from these guys and see us all kind of put this thing together.
Yeah, and now adding Ledford in the run game and that with his, you know, offensive line responsibilities, what does that add? Honestly,
it really is not going to change anything of how we've gone about the process, and you know, specifically how Led and I have worked together. And again, it's all just having that collaborative mindset and collaborative environment, and making sure that we're putting the players in the best position to be successful, and just understanding, again, yeah, titles, all those things, those are great, but again, it's just about us making sure we're putting these guys in position to be successful so we can win games on Sunday.
Yeah. Let me see if I have anything.
So when you think about, like, what do you want to see out of your guys in 2024 from a development standpoint, what would you say?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think, you know, specifically as a group, we got to do a better job taking care of the football. Let's just start there. You know, we got to do a much better job taking care of the football. And then, obviously, we have to continue to grow from Bijan specifically year 1 to year 2. And what does that look like? And then for Tyler from year 2 to year 3, you know, and, you know, Avery coming back. And so it's just those guys continuing to grow as professionals. But the most important thing is just those guys taking the time and us taking the time to learn this offense so we can go out there and execute with great attention to detail and continue to help this football team win games in crunch time specifically, and just know that, okay, is it us affecting the game in the pass game? Is it us affecting the game in the run game? Whatever Coach and Zach are going to ask us to do, let's just do it with great attention to detail so we can be that much better this year than we were last year.
I mean, when you think about, especially with Bijan in year 2, what are some of the things that you think he can, you know, areas of opportunity where he can sort of build?
Yeah, I think the first thing, he did an unbelievable job, you know, being able to get through this entire season with the load mentally and physically that we put on him last year. I think for him, he would tell you he wants to be able to make some more plays. Well, the way that he's going to make some more plays and be able to help affect the game a little bit more is just by, again, the attention to detail within the play, our aiming point, our eyes, understanding some of those little things that all guys go through that transitional time going as a rookie, right? And then ultimately, again, like we talked about in the first question, was the ball security, making sure we're doing a better job taking care of the football, and then we're not putting ourselves in a bad situation as a football team by being careless with the football.
How complicated a process is it to stitch together the way you guys have run the ball here the last couple of years with the way this group has traditionally thrown the ball, and to marry those two?
Yeah, I think if you were to ask Ra or you were to ask Zach, I think that we're going to do whatever puts us in the best position to win football games on Sundays. I think you look at any football team, really at any level, specifically the NFL, you have to throw the football, you have to be able to run the football if you're going to be a good football team. And you got to play good defense, good special teams. So it's going to take all three units. But again, roster's not done, all those things, and we're, again, and Ross talked about the collaborative environment. That's what we're working through right now, and that's the fun part, because you get to see us put this together. And obviously, as we continue to put it together and then the players will get here, that will be the fun part, because we will see it all come together.
Right.
What did that mean to you?
Grateful, excited. It's a special relationship that we have in that room and with those guys, and and this is a special place, and to get the call and to know that you got an opportunity to stay here. My wife and I, we were thrilled and just blessed to have the opportunity to stay here. Like I said before, it's a lot about the people that makes where you work or who you work with and everything like that, and this is a special place, and to be able to stay here, we're very, very thankful.
I know you talk a lot about continuity, not only with the group, but the fact that y'all have this continuity with you coming back and the same group coming back. I mean, how much does that kind of just even build off of the success of the last 2 years?
We're all excited about it. As soon as Jake and Chris, as soon as the news came out and I told them that we're back, and they're just all excited about it. Just continue to build the things that we're trying to build, and I'm grateful for those guys in that room and the way those guys play to continue building what we've been trying to put forward, and with the pieces that we have, and I'm very, very excited about that.
What were your first impressions of Raheem Morris, and how excited were you to kind of get to work with him?
I was very excited, and I'm sitting in bed watching 300 with my wife, and it was late. There's a time difference between California and so I get a FaceTime call, and I was like, who's FaceTiming me at 10:30 at night? And so I'm fumbling around my phone, and I missed the call. And so I got a Hulkster shirt on, Hulkamania on, got pajamas on, and so I missed the call, but Raheem texted me. He's like, call me back once you get a chance. And so I FaceTime him right back. And I was like, Coach, man, I was laying in bed watching 300, man. But it was a great conversation, and I was really excited about it. I mean, I've heard a lot of great things with people that's worked with Raheem before, and then getting to talk to him and meet him, and just, you feel his energy, you feel his passion, and Joe, so you're excited about that. And, we had a great conversation, and thankful that he gave me the opportunity to come back.